Hang on, Ms. Gilbert, sorry. Councillor Williams.
Oh, sorry, I thought you completed it. This is a question on another matter.
Yeah, no, we can. Well, I think are we complete on that?
Oh, on that point, we are complete.
Right. Okay.
Oh, this is another question on the Ms. Gilbert's very with great enthusiasm towards the wonderful article about the new type of water coming on the stream. I just wondered if you realise it's in our draft annual plan. It's in there twice. Do you mean that to be?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If I might just, can I just go to this, and I just want to walk you through all of the changes that we've made, just to make sure we don't forget one. I'm not very good at it. In fact, I'm rubbish at multitasking. I can only do one thing at a time, and it's quite helpful if I'm a bit linear. The first thing to note is just that we've given you a copy of the Statement of Compliance, which has to go into the draft annual plan. This will go on the page immediately after the Chief Executive message. So it opens with a message from Mayor and Councillors. We have a CE message about some operational matters, and then we have a Statement of Compliance, which just says that we followed the rules. And what a good thing that is too. And then we turn over, we come to what is labelled page 10 of 85. So it's new information going on to page 10 of your, actually strictly it starts on page 8 of your big hefty document. We put a new sentence in under that financial strategy. This is a point that Neil's already addressed, just around the balanced budget issue, the fact that we're using property sales to bridge the difference between operating and costs and expenditures. And then we come to, yes, the Taupo water story. Somebody, and I don't know who, possibly Councillor Johnson, I think, asked me to make it explicit for people in Acacia Bay and Martha that they're actually not affected by the Taupo Township water schemes. We've made that change. Just to note Councillor Williams' point, the story's in there twice. Yes, it is. We just figure that when you're in a document that's probably going to be about 150 pages long, this sits right at the front, kind of the big headline stuff, if you like, and then it sits also specifically in the water story. So whether you're looking for the headlines or you're looking at the details of water, that story is there. And that will be an identical story in both places.
So just a minor point. When you're talking, in regards to water, when you're talking about the national drinking water standards, in the CEO's message it's the New Zealand drinking water standards, but throughout the rest of the document in summary it's national drinking water standards. So I just wondered if there should be clarified in some way.
I think essentially we're using different language. He's talking about a very particular set, and I'm just talking about it in a generic way. It's kind of like the difference between Tim Tams, tax capital T, and biscuits is just a lowercase b.
Do you think though that's going to be clear to everybody else? Do you think it's not more consistent just to use the actual terminology that it is?
We could, I just hate all those capital letters. But we will. For you, we will. NZDSW, PDWS, thank you, we will make that change.
This is being pedantic, and I probably should have brought it up in the earlier session, but what council will do this year, going back to page 7, I just wonder with probably a new board for the community, that would raise the expectation, and I wonder if that is actually what we want the community to expect a new board, whether it might be more prudent to use the words investigate the need for a new board.
We have held extensive consultation with the community out there, and the feedback we've got from the community is that that's the option they want.
Oh yes, so it is. That's the probable is put in there for a reason. Yeah.
So thank you. If we then come down to these tables, there's all sorts of changes there. The residential impacts in terms of these new funding requirements. Having gone round with drafts going 1 in 6 get that, and 2/3 get that, and 1 in 5 get that, everybody came back and said, can we just have the percentages, please? So these tables have now been changed to reflect the actual percentages affected within each of the major categories. So just kind of, to show you this, half of residential properties pay $100 up to $100 more, which is already, which is less than $2 a week, or in Turangi, 10% of residential properties get a rates cut. People said, can we just have that in actual percentages? And so the table takes through, it's all taken straight from those matrix tables we used in the workshops. And then if you turn over one more page, you'll see we've even got some pretty graphs. Now this is not the final version of this document, this is the Word version, and obviously the designer will make it look even better. But that's just to give you an idea of what these graphs look like. So that's more of the changes, if you like, that are proposed into the actual draft annual plan. And as you'll see, there's a bunch of different tables there showing some of the major residential groupings and also some of the other rating categories, so rural properties or industrial and commercial properties. And then everything else in the draft plan right through to page 37 stays as it is, and we pick up those changes that have been suggested in terms of the Waikato regional collaboration, and we will get that $70,000 reference into that. And we'll also pick that language up and put it into the summary as well, because with the list of, you know, what's new for the year, we'll put that there as in the summary. And I'll just bring you over to what was page 62 and this of 85. Now this actually sits in your funding impact statement, so I'm going to ask Neil to talk to that.
Okay, so this is just a minor technical point again, and it's just something that was brought up in talking to Simpson Greason, our lawyers. Just a technical point regarding, we've just added a sentence there, rates payments will be allocated to the oldest outstanding debt first. So there's just a technical point around basically paying off the old debt first before the new debt, and it just tightens up that that aspect, especially around the charging of penalties for outstanding rates. That was the addition recommended by our lawyers, and that's it.
Just little bits and pieces to do with the doubling up of words and spelling errors and things. Is that something we talk to you about afterwards?
You can. The was delayed has been delayed. Things have been
on Delaney Park. Has that been amended?
The spelling? Yes. Not sure yet, but we've actually got another version that's got 4 million. We've had it proofread and all those typos, but rather than put a whole bunch of typo track changes in front of you, that's sitting there. But if you want to give us anything that you've identified, it would be useful.
And then the other thing is there's a couple of inconsistencies between language in the summary that hopefully lots of ratepayers will read, and the actual annual plan.
So, just coming to that, I've given you a new version of the summary.
That's still in there.
Oh, are they? Yeah. Excellent. If you would bring those to my attention, I'd be grateful. So, you know, that'd be really helpful. If it's not anything substantial, it's just languaging issues.
It's just language, and I just want communications to be totally clear with everyone out there. Because a lot of people will read this, but they won't read that. But if they read both, sentences structured different ways can mean different things to some people.
Yeah, no, I do take your point, and we'll be grateful for a heads up on this. You had one version of the summary, and then I've tabled another version for you. The way to know which one you're looking at, the new one in the bottom table has language in blue on the right-hand column and uses percentages, and that table again matches up with the tables we've just been talking about in the actual draft annual plan. So as I say, people said there's 1 and 6, 1 and 5, 2 and 3, I don't know how many all of that is, just give me percentages. So we've put it back to that. And because we have some, we're working on quite a major kind of, cost-saving exercise with the summary, we have quite a lot of space limitations with that. It's likely that at most we will get 4 graphs in with that. So what we've done is pick the 4 kind of biggest of the residential settlements or towns in our district to just kind of show what are those impacts for those. And again, yes, there's the language issue on Taupo water. And then if you just keep turning over till we get to the new projects this year, we will now add in a new heading for democracy and planning, and we will put the Waikato regional story that we've just been discussing will go in there as well, so that people can feel confident that it will attract submissions. So that kind of takes us through the changes to the draft annual plan since the last version we gave you. the changes to the summary since the last version we gave you, which means we're kind of now in a position to come back to the actual council agenda item. And I've given you a track changes version of that as well. So you see there's that change on the resolution there that Mr Ward's advised us is required under section 100 of the Local Government Act. If you turn over to page 3(1), we've also put an additional paragraph in there just explaining what that's about. Now that paragraph is also actually in the draft annual plan. It's identical language. And that kind of brings me to the end of the things that I need to draw to your attention.
Okay, folks, well, I basically think this has been a well-run exercise. Staff, government, both management have done a very, very good job in producing a projected lowest rate rise for a very, very long time. Cut a lot of fat off the bone without reducing any services, and I think the intention moving forward is to do even better in the future. But I'm quite proud today to see this document and reflect what is going to be happening in the next 12 months and what has happened in the past. Go out for public consultation. I personally will be very, very surprised if we have an armada of submitters, because I don't think many people could have achieved as good a result as has been done by management and government. So unless there's more to say, I would like to ask that I'd love to do it myself, but I don't think it's right, but I would like to ask that there is a mover and a seconder for the suggested resolution. But before I do, are they moving or set or?
I'll move to resolution.
I just have a query. That's
I'll take the query first, then I'll take Councillor Hickling as the mover, Councillor Williams as the seconder. If I did this right before I do it, I'll clarify your query.
just in the summary document, and the new projects on the last page, wastewater. It's going to dry up that work to optimise the Turangi plant, which does a nitrogen removal job for the whole district. At $1 million, what does that actually represent?
Good. Let's ask an engineer. Mr Lewis.
That will address we're at the moment looking at the optimisation of the plant, and there's about 3 or 4 different areas that we're looking at. There's the pond that we're looking at the moment, and then there's also the cleaning of the SPR filters.
So you're telling me then that this contributes greatly to the nitrogen removal targets?
Correct.
And are those nitrogen removal targets affecting the lake?
Within the Taupo catchment, yes.
That's where the lake is situated, yeah.
So it's the entire plant, or the entire Turangi plant removes considerable nitrogen, which helps with the
You're spending this million to remove more nitrogen.
It's to optimise the efficiency of the plant.
So in tonnage terms and things like that,
I couldn't give you a tonnage review.
are they Taupo Protected Trust aware of this? Because it's in the process, and I'm on that committee of removing 183 tonnes of nitrogen going to lake. And if I'm sitting here listening correctly in my layman's language, you're telling me that Taupo District Council is going to spend some more money and remove some more nitrogen from our precious lake?
Correct.
Thank you.
But that's the bonus out of doing those, because those skims aren't working professionally, so if they were optimally 100%, that's a bonus that we will take.
I just want to court to make Taupo Protection Trust, because that's what they're mandated to do, and I see those dots as being joined together. So is that one for your query? Thank you very much. So nothing further. We had a mover in Councillor Hickling, and we had a second in Councillor Williams. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you very, very much. I now close the meeting at 2:50 p.m.